everyone, welcome to DASAR. Today's podcast is on fitness, it's on running, it's on health. And I have an awesome podcast guest with me, Shajan Samuel. He's a runner, he's an ultramarathoner, he's a business leader, right? And so we're going to talk a lot of things today. This might be a long podcast just like the others. We're going to cover fitness. How do you get fit? How do you maintain fitness? Everybody has a busy life. Everybody wants to have a great social life. But how do you keep fitness as a key parameter in your life? We are also going to cover injuries, sickness. We are going to cover nutrition, sleep, and a whole lot of things related to fitness in this podcast. So first of all, welcome. This is an absolute pleasure to be, to host you here. I've been an avid fan, a follower of your tweets, and the moment I kind of reached out to you, you said, all right, let's do this, right? And so I'm super excited about this. Thanks a lot for joining us on DASAR.
Yeah, I'm very much thrilled and delighted to be on this podcast, and I look forward to sharing my limited wisdom with all your listeners.
Brilliant. So let's get started with the basics. How did your fitness journey start? Were you unhealthy at any given point of time? And then how did you build that momentum towards fitness?
See, it all started off the fly. I had a very busy traveling job. I used to travel around more than 20 days a month. And while I was in Kerala, I worked in Kerala for a year. I used to have a lot of oily parathas and chicken and stuff like that. So I put on a lot of weight. That was when I was 32. So at 36, 37, one fine morning off the fly, I just went for a short jog, and I was surprised. To my utter dismay, I could not even run 100 meters. I was panting and gasping for breath, and I told myself, this is not fair. This is not done. This is absolutely ridiculous. And that is the day I realized that what's this? I mean, I can't 100 meters. So I came back home, and I said next day again I went out and I could run 150 meters. So I realized that there's something wrong with my health.
Fitness.
Yes, fitness and
So
health.
that's how you got started.
Yes.
I'm going to set the context for our audience. Today you're an ultramarathoner. You are in the Limca Book of Records. You've won other Indian records as well. Maybe better than me explaining, maybe you can help us understand what is ultramarathon, and just a quick overview of the records and the work that you do in the fitness space across India, because it's not just running for passion. You're making this a cause. This is a cause for living for you. So maybe just some more thoughts on this.
See, I was 92 kgs, and definitely I was not in control of my life. I was like a ship without a rudder, and my life was wandering aimlessly. So when 37, I started to jog. I was able to do 10 kilometers with a lot of struggle. So I was running 5, then walking 2 kilometers, then slow walk, jog. So this saga continued for 4 years. So till 40 years, I was doing 10K with a lot of effort and struggle and discomfort. I was still 92, so I was not losing weight. I was still not losing weight. So at 40 years, I made this audacious plan that, look, I want to transition into a long distance runner. And I did not know how and what, but this is the commitment I made to myself. So the difference between a promise and a commitment is that promise you make to others, commitment you make to yourself. So I knew that if I had to become an ultra runner, I have to make things very difficult for me. The best place to hang around is the comfort zone, but nothing radical happens there. So I moved to Mumbai. I stayed in a slum, absolute slum, devoid of all amenities. I slept on the hard floor, no TV, no television, no refrigerator, nothing, just the floor. And at 7 p.m. I used to go off to sleep. And I used to wake up in the middle of the night hungry, and I wanted to eat the bedsheet. Okay? So 3 months, the rigmarole of, and this rigorous physical, discomfort which I pushed myself through to the brink helped me to reduce 21 kgs. So I moved my weight came from 92 to 71. kilos. At the same time, I started to increase my mileage. So I started to run 10 kilometers and 15 kilometers. So then one day when I was running 10 kilometers, struggling, I saw people running 21 and coming back. So I'm running 10, somebody's coming. I used to look at them in utter bewilderment. I mean, I'm running 10K, I'm struggling. These people are doing 21K. I mean, what sort of energy? I used to read in papers, Milan Soman ran from Bombay to Ahmedabad, and I was like, my goodness, Bombay to Ahmedabad, how is this possible? Is this even possible? So one day I mustered a lot of strength, I pushed myself and I registered myself for Airtel half marathon, which is technically 21.1 kilometers.
Right.
And I was not confident at all. At the starting line, I was like panicking, like what will happen? Will I be able? Because I've never done anything below 10. So I finished that 21 kilometer in 2 hours 45 minutes. Nothing to boast of, very modest performance. But I still remember I wore that medal and came to office the next day, and the entire day was medal. I was wearing that medal, and I was telling people, excuse me, to see this medal. So today when I look back, I think, what a sort of, I feel amused by that. So from 21, I jumped to 50. From 50, I jumped. So I just jumped. I didn't do full. From 21, I straight went to 50. It was in Goa. My parents came. They thought I will die. How can this guy run for 50? But I finished it in 7.5 hours. That is the first time I got confidence that human body has got finite capability, but the human mind has infinite capability. So from 50, I participated in the 12-hour stadium run in Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium run in Delhi, nail biting cold. The race started at 6 p.m. ended at 6 a.m. I finished. I did 82 kilometers. I came 7th. So that is the time I got a grip of this. From 82, I jumped to 161 straight away.
So you're running 161 kilometers.
Yeah. 161 kilometers I have done thrice. I got podium. I finished 161 kilometers in some 30 hours or 27.5 hours. I got podium there. And then I did 220 kilometers in 37 hours. I've done some of the toughest challenging ultras in India, Malnad, Run of Kutch in 50-degree temperature, Ladakh I have done, Solang Sky Ultra I have done, SRT Ultra I have done. So I have run so far 40,000 kilometers, and no challenge is now impossible for me. So tell me to run from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, I will do it if I have the time with me.
That is just mind-boggling, right? I relate a lot with what you said with your first half marathon, where you took whatever amount of time. But the timing was not important. Breaking that barrier for the first time in fitness was very important.
Yes.
I started my fitness journey similar to your, I don't know what it is about mid-30s that people realize that their body needs maintenance, that it needs nurturing, that it needs attention, right? And back in 2019, I was also unhealthy, not 90 kgs, but 83, 84 kgs. Decided to give up on my most favorite thing, tea, for almost a year. No outside food, no alcohol, doing 3 workouts a week. And then did my first 10 kilometers in January of 2020, just before the pandemic. Now the timing was not that great, 78 minutes, but I'm just happy that I did it, right?
Yes.
And so the other part of it is also mental fitness. I think a lot of what you're saying has got to do with mental fitness also.
Yes.
Just in that time, I also did Vipassana, which is a 10-day meditation course where you are in complete silence. You don't talk to anyone, no eye communication, nothing, right? And you're meditating for almost 15 to 16 hours a day.
My goodness.
And so again, it's got to do with mental determination to be able to last that long, right? Especially when you're a talkative guy like me. So my next question to you is, how does one work on the mental fitness, the resilience? Because one part is commitment, but the second part is seeing it through. And I don't see a lot of people see it through, right? So maybe some thoughts, experiences on that.
Our spontaneous reaction, we have been hardwired, our minds have been hardwired in such a way that a spontaneous reaction to any challenge is no. मेरे से नहीं हो पाएगा. What are you expecting from me? ये मैं कैसे कर सकता हूँ? ये तो आज तक हुआ नहीं है. You are unreasonable. You are illogical. This is not possible. So that's our spontaneous reaction, because over a period of time, our mind has tricked us into believing that it is not possible. So we have built this sort of, barricades in our mind. So the only way to strengthen, condition and leverage your mind is not by reading motivational books or listening to motivational videos. There are plenty of them out there. It's by looking forward for such challenges. Okay, looking to such challenges and embracing those challenges with open arms. See, magic happens only when you dive deep into the unknown. That adrenaline rush which you get. See, running a 10K, running a 21K, you know that सीधा रास्ता है, but all movement is not progress and life is non-linear. What does it mean is that when you don't know what to expect, in ultra running you don't know, because there is circumstances, there is nature, you don't understand the terrain, there is mountains, because I run on some of the toughest mountains, where you can also risk your life. So it is uncertain, because that is the time when you truly discover yourself. I will advise everybody to go on a solo trip. Don't book a return ticket. Just book your onward ticket and get lost in the wilderness. When you get lost in the wilderness is when you discover some facets of yourself, which was you're not aware कि मैं ऐसा कर सकता हूँ क्या? So the first thing is that don't fear for any challenges. चुनौती का सामना करना सीखो. चुनौती से जब तक आप जूझेंगे नहीं, जब तक आप लड़ेंगे नहीं, तो आपको पता नहीं रहेगा कि आपका अंदर ये शक्ति कहाँ पे था. So you have to accept challenges. I think that's the only way you can leverage your mental strength. And one more thing.
Push that. Sorry,
the biggest muscle in your body is not in your leg, in your hands, in your back. The biggest muscle in your body is your mind, and you have to make pain your companion. ठीक है, आपको दोस्ती करना पड़ेगा दर्द के साथ. जब तक आप दोस्ती नहीं करेगा दर्द के साथ, आप कभी, because pain is an inflection point, you have to tip over that.
Right. It reminds me of a trek that I did back in 2008. This was climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. This is Africa's highest summit. It's a 7-day trek via Machame route. Had never done trekking of this sort before. But one part is I did make it to the top, thanks to my guide, thanks to the preparation that I put in. And so my next question to you is the preparation needed to be able to succeed, because if you don't get small wins, you just lose momentum, right? So you can look at it one way. One is, what kind of preparation do you do today? What is your fitness routine today, right? If you just lay it out, it will give a good sense of what people might expect.
See, first you have to build base level endurance, or it's called the aerobic base. So you have to build that base level. A layman cannot go and run in Ladakh. He will die. You have to build base level endurance. So if a layman wants to run in Ladakh, they have to build base level, means they have to focus on their breathing. They have to gradually build mileage over a period of time. See, there is nothing called overnight miracles. There are overnight tragedies. But overnight miracles are 8 years, 10 years. So it's a process, it's a structured, orchestrated process you have to follow, and it takes time. So for example, now I am planning to run from Manali to Rotang. It is 80 kilometers. The run starts at 10 p.m. and I have to finish on or before 2 p.m. If I finish by 2:01, I am disqualified. It will show as did not finish, DNF. So for me to finish the run in 16 hours on 17,000 feet above sea level, 2,200 meter elevation, minus 50% oxygen, and minus 10 degree temperature, I can't just suddenly go there and run, right? So I have prepared for that. So how do I prepare? Of course, you don't get that elevation in Pune. You don't get that climate in Pune. So I practice in simulated environment. So all for the last 2 months I'm preparing for the run. What I do, I go to Siagat, I go to Rajgarh, I start climbing that mountains over there. That is one preparation I do. Other is that I run from Pune University to NDA, which is around 400 meter elevation. I run at different times and I run on tired legs. So sometimes I run in the morning, like today morning I ran 33 kilometers from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. Then today evening, night I will run 11 kilometers. And I'm planning a midnight run next week, which is I will start running at 12 o'clock when some people will be awake, some will be asleep. And then I will run till 5 a.m. So I try to adjust my body clock in different situations and different circumstances. Also, I will run in the afternoon, so I will wear some different type of clothing to make myself feel uncomfortable. That's the best you can do. Otherwise, any races like that, you have to acclimatize. You have to go there 1 week in advance. It's not like you prepare in Pune in the road and then you go and run in the mountains. The mountains will completely surprise you. You cannot prepare like that. So you have to prepare in simulated environment.
Brilliant. Thanks. I love the example and the simplicity with which you share your experiences or your preparation. Nutrition and sleep are equally important. One of my biggest learning in all of this was the fact that, if you want weight loss, focus on nutrition. If you want to focus on energy, focus on fitness routine. And if you want to really achieve peak fitness, focus on your sleep, right? Recovery. So your own personal experiences of nutrition and sleep, if you can share with the others.
See, weight loss is very, very simple. I mean, it's calorie deficit. So, a normal human being needs around 1800 or 2000 calories intake. So, आप जितना कैलोरी ले रहे हो उससे ज़्यादा कैलोरी आपको बर्न करना है. This is a simple algorithm. There is no rocket science involved out here. But the issue is that people then start taking the short circuiting the process. वो लोग सलाद खाने लग जाते हैं और ऐसे ऐसे चीज़ करते हैं which is not sustainable. And you cannot live your entire life on having salad, right? So it's not sustainable. So you have to cultivate good habits which can be sustained over a period of time. So, and our bodies are unique and different by nature, right? So what food will suit you? One man's food is another man's poison. There's a saying in English. So what suits you will not suit me. लोग पूछते हैं कि डाइट बोलते हैं. अरे डाइट मतलब तुम्हारा बॉडी अलग है भाई, इंजन अलग है, मेरा बॉडी अलग है. I mean, how can I recommend? I can tell you the broad thing. I can tell you आप सवेरे मूसली खाओ. And there is lot of myth going around. कोई बोलते हैं मूसली अच्छा है, कोई बोलते हैं oat meal अच्छा है. See, please understand one thing. Everything food in India has got chemicals. वो गाय में भी इंजेक्शन लगा रहे थे, तो दूध भी आपको वो मतलब मिलावट है उसमें भी है. So what to eat then? That is a big question. So simply I'll just give you a simple thing: homemade food. Why homemade food? Because your mom or your wife cooks it with lot of love, and you can control the ingredients over there. So one is homemade food. Avoid junk. Anything packaged, preserved, avoid it. Because आप एक बिस्किट खा रहे हो, right? वो बिस्किट किधर बना? Biscuit has been made in Chandigarh. That biscuit travels in a truck. From Chandigarh to comes to Pune, it takes 15 days. So already all its essential properties are lost. That biscuit is lying in a shop in a shelf. It is mentioned over there. इसका एक्सपायरी डेट कब है, लेकिन ये मेंशन कैसे नहीं है कि कितना दिन से शेल्फ में पड़ा हुआ है. So anything which is packaged, preserved, don't have natural homemade food. That is the simple thing, and have balance of protein, carbs, and fat. People say that only you should have protein. मैं नहीं मानता. You should be balanced food. Lot of vegetables because vegetable has got vitamins, antioxidants, minerals, and lot of water. Minimum intake of water should be around 3 liters. So don't look at weight loss as a goal. Instead, cultivate good habits. Have simple homemade food. Okay, don't eat outside. Don't eat junk. And nutrition is very, very important. So if you are a performing athlete or an endurance sports, nutrition becomes a very important. You have to be very careful about that, because that can be the difference between peak performance and suboptimal performance. Sleep is very important. It's a third pillar for good health. I am very, very big on sleep. I believe that if a person is not sleeping for less than 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours, it has got long-term consequences. Simple as that. Okay, you should read this book by Matthew Walker, Why We Sleep. It's scientifically proven fact, and today's youngsters, 70% of today's youngsters are sleeping at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. They're binge watching Netflix. And whenever you're binge watching, you will have something चस्का और मस्का beside you, right? वो ऐसा नहीं होता है, कुछ तो आपके बगल में रहेगा. तो एक तो भाई 10 बजे सो भगवान के लिए, ठीक है। पहले ज़माने में लोग बोलते थे अर्ली टू बेड अर्ली टू rise makes a man healthy, wealthy and wise. You ask your grandmother, you see your grandmother is healthy, hale and hearty at 80 years. क्यों? राज बहुत सिंपल है। फार्म में खाना, फार्म में वो फार्म से अनाज लेते थे और किचन में बनाते थे, और वो लोग कभी बीमार होते नहीं थे। दे नेवर वेंट टू अ डॉक्टर, डॉक्टर तो था भी नहीं उस विलेजेस में, कभी भी वो लोग बीमार होते, बिकॉज दे वर लाइक वॉकिंग, वर्किंग इन द फार्म्स, हैविंग होममेड फूड, एंड दे यूज्ड टू गो टू स्लीप एट 9 PM एंड टू वेक अप एट 4 AM. वो ही करना है आपको, ओके, वही करना है.
Brilliant, you know. And another part at Vipassana also is at 9 o'clock everything used to get wrapped up, and you had to get up at 4. At 4:30 would be the first meditation, right?
Right.
And I think we have popularized today that sleeping late. I'm a two category. मैं सुबह उठने को नहीं जमता है मेरे को, मैं रात को कितना देर चाहिए उतना काम करूँगा, right? And on the other hand, I have never heard anyone say I sleep early and then I get up early, unless you are a performance athlete.
Yeah, one thing what I'll tell you is that even this corporate also should be very careful that they start telling, देखो यार कितना मेहनती लड़का है, पूरा रात जाग के रिपोर्ट बना के दिया है, इससे सीखो, पैशन देखो इसका, बॉस ये मर जाएगा 10 साल के बाद, ठीक है? Because what happened next day morning, his productivity is gone. I mean, for the guy to perform at peak levels over a sustained period of time, they have to have 7 hours, 8 hours sleep. It is mandatory. You cannot short circuit this process. So today's youngsters, so many people, you know, we hire, work with us. सर मेरा पेट में दर्द है, सर मेरा सर में दर्द है। यार मैं 25 साल से एक दिन भी छुट्टी नहीं लिया। आई एम वर्किंग इन कॉर्पोरेट लाइफ फॉर 25 years. आई हैव नेवर टेकन अ sick leave till date. So it's just, I mean, just surprising that how people are falling sick is only because they because of comfort and convenience. Everything is now on the click of a button. अब बटन दबाओ आपको एलिवेटर ऊपर लेके जाएगा, अब बटन दबाओ आपका गाड़ी आपके दरवाजे पे आ जाएगा, अब बटन दबाओ तो आपका एसी स्विच ऑन हो जाएगा, अब बटन दबाओ स्विगी से खाना आ जाएगा, सब कुछ तो बटन में हो गया। तो आपका मूवमेंट किधर है? The only movement is from the bedroom to the bathroom.
Brilliant.
But bodies are meant to move.
Right.
Right. So human evolution, see people say, yeah, running मेरे को आता नहीं है. अरे भाई, running is a natural form of human evolution. When you were small baby in diapers, तुम कैसे कूद रहे थे? You were jumping from the bed down, right? And you were running and somebody has to catch you. You know what's the problem is that when children run in the park, the mother run behind, पकड़ के गोद में उसको बैठा के, तो बच्चा डर जाए, बच्चा तो उससे यार भागना गलत है मतलब. Right? So you should allow the child to fall, stumble, get some bruises. तभी तो आगे बढ़ेगा. That is all. That's what shapes them up, right?
Yeah, that was just awesome. My next question to you is: you've been a business leader for over 15-20 years. Today, you're the chief revenue officer at Safal, an edtech startup. Safalta, sorry, an edtech startup, and you have a family, you have friends, you have social life, you have your own personal goals, and you have your career as well, right? So managing all of this is tough, right? It's a genuinely could be perceived as tough. I hear a lot of reasons saying my work and family and friends don't allow me to create a fitness routine. What would you say to that, and how do you manage your time?
See, I'll say two things. If it is important to you, you will find a way, else you'll find an excuse. So Henry Ford once said that excuses are the tools of incompetent people used to build bridges that go absolutely nowhere. If somebody comes and tells me that मेरे पास समय नहीं है, I'll just tell him only one thing. यार आपके पास भी 24 घंटे है, मेरे पास भी 24 घंटे है. Issue is not time, issue is focus. Issue is prioritizing. Health has to be on top of your priority. Okay, I don't want to mince my words. Has to be on top of your priority. Everything has to be dovetailed under health. Period. तो हिंदुस्तान में क्या सारे वर्ल्ड में लोग पहले से 40 साल तक खूब पैसा कमाते हैं, फिर 40 से 60 साल तक वो पूरा पैसा डॉक्टर को दे देते हैं, फिर 60 से 70 साल वो जाता है हरिद्वार में. क्यों? पूरा जिंदगी पाप की, अभी तो धोना है. So you have to prioritize health. Absolutely, there is no option for it. 70% of diseases in India are lifestyle disease, which can be mitigated with a little bit of prudence. You don't have to do anything supernatural. थोड़ा सा आप 45 मिनट वॉक करो, ब्रिस्क वॉकिंग करो. आप मोबाइल बिल्कुल लेके जाना मत, बिकॉज इट्स अबाउट escapism from the rigmarole of frenzied, agitated life. Walk is also about collecting your own thoughts, having clarity in your mind. तो walk पे जाओ. अगर आप जिम में जाने का कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है, आई हैव नेवर बीन टू अ जिम, आप सारे एक्सरसाइज घर पे बॉडी वेट्स के थ्रू कर सकते हैं. स्ट्रेंथ ट्रेनिंग इंपॉर्टेंट है, बिकॉज एवरी ईयर योर बोन डेंसिटी कम्स डाउन. आपका जो स्पाइन होता है धीरे धीरे बेंड हो जाता है, बिकॉज दैट इज अ नेचुरल प्रोसेस. यू कैन ओनली स्लो इट डाउन, बट यू कांट स्टॉप इट. ठीक है. तो इट इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट दैट व्हेन यू बिकम अ ग्रैंडफादर और अ ग्रैंडमदर, यार बच्चों के साथ भागना है ना पार्क में, इट शुड नॉट हैपन दैट यार आपका बेसिक काम के लिए भी एक नर्स रखा हुआ है, तो फिर कितना बुरा हो जाएगा. तो इट्स इम्पॉर्टेंट दैट पीपल प्रायोरिटाइज देयर हेल्थ. तो समय का कभी पाबंदी होता नहीं है. लोग अपने हेल्थ को समझौता करते हैं, फिर बहुत देर हो जाता है. व्हेन दे रियलाइज दैट अभी तो यू रियलाइज द वैल्यू ऑफ गुड हेल्थ
when you're sick.
व्हेन यू हैव बैड हेल्थ.
Absolutely. An ill man has only one wish: good health,
Good
right?
health, right.
And a healthy person has too many wishes,
Right,
right?
absolutely.
There's no limit
Yeah.
to it. Um, I also strongly believe, right? I'm writing a white paper where there is a connection between productivity performance in life, at work, and fitness. How have you noticed that as you've become fit, you've also become better at what you do, your work, your purpose?
See, today at this stage in my life, I'm 46 plus. I believe I can do anything. There's nothing in this world I cannot do. I can move mountains. That is purely come from ultra running. Ultra running has completely transcended geographies and unleashed my inner greatness. मतलब मेरे को लगता है कुछ भी कर सकते हैं, because there is a strong correlation between body and brain. Very strong correlation. So in my case, my overall confidence has skyrocketed. लोग इज्जत देते हैं, people respect, people यार ये बंदा तो, and my analogy of running is used in, everybody says ना, life is not a marathon, life is a marathon, not a sprint. All business leaders say this dialogue, but hey, तू marathon भागा नहीं ना, तो भागा है मैं. So always that person is advantageous was already run the marathon. If you look at the Tata का जो chairman है Chandrasekhar, he tells explicitly that he himself is a marathoner, and he speaks about how the analogy of marathon is so powerful and so important. So I think it has improved my confidence, it has elevated my performance, it has made me mentally sharp, more nimble-footed, more swift, because the market today is dynamic, fast-paced working environment, unpredictable, uncertainty. We call it the VUCA world. We don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. So if you want to, ensure that a bright future for yourself and for the ecosystem, the only way to do it is by creating that. And you have to be healthy to handle that pressure. Now stress बहुत है. अभी corporate life there's a lot of stress, performance stress है. पीयर स्ट्रेस है, यार मेरा बैचमेट है वो आगे निकल गया, उसका पास BMW, मेरे पास तो मारुति है, उसका पास तो आईफोन है, मेरे पास तो नोकिया है. सो दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ कंपैरिजन एंड स्ट्रेस इज देयर. लॉट ऑफ स्ट्रेस, एंजाइटी, स्ट्रेस that can catapult into depression also. The only way you can handle this is with a strong body and a strong mind. There's no other way to encounter this, face this.
We've set the context. You set the context on the need for fitness. Okay. Say now I am extremely interested in making fitness a routine for me, a lifestyle change for me. Okay. It took me almost a year of 3 workouts every week before it started becoming natural to me.
Yeah.
Right? I started enjoying it. First it was painful. It used to be challenging to just do the simple home workouts with body weight, the stretches, right? It was that painful. So it took me a year to make this a lifestyle change, and today it's a part of me. anyone who wants to make fitness a routine, what mechanism or how would you suggest them to go about? What is a checklist or what are the do's?
Basically, there is a difference between fitness and health. Good health simply means that you are not going to doctor often, you're not falling sick often. So that is, fitness is about benchmark. So if I can do 50 push-ups in an hour, or run up 10 floors in 10 minutes, or do a 10 kilometer in 50 minutes, that is fitness. So fitness, मैं थोड़ा health के बारे में ज़्यादा बोलता हूँ. I'll talk about fitness also.
Yeah.
Simple habits. Simple habits. Our bodies are very, very passive. I can say it's in the cold storage. So if you want to lead an active life, it takes some time. You won't get results immediately. लोग क्या करते हैं, पहले एक बड़ा सा वेइंग मशीन खरीदते हैं, उसके ऊपर चढ़ते हैं रोज. अरे यार क्या है, कल भी 70 किलो, आज भी 70 किलो, तो कमी नहीं हो रहा है. आफ्टर 10 दिन के बाद वो निराश होकर डबल खाने लग जाते हैं, क्योंकि इसका तो कोई फायदा हुआ नहीं है. या तो लोग ट्रेडमिल खरीद के लेके आते हैं, 20 दिन भागते हैं, बाद में कपड़ा सुखाते हैं उसको ऊपर 21 दिन में. तो यू मस्ट बी पेशेंट. I'd follow that process. Outcome will take care of itself. Outcome is a subset. Cultivate small habits and make minor tweaks. Don't try to do anything radical because it is a counterproductive. So start off by small habits saying, I am going to just sleep at 10 and wake up at 5. That's it. Just do that one thing for 10 days. बाकी सबको मत करो, अभी उसको करो, उस पर फोकस रखो. उसके लिए सिंपल काम करना है आपको. 9 o'clock को आपको अनवाइंड करना पड़ेगा. No phone call. I have made it amply clear to everybody in this world that 9 o'clock के बाद मैं कॉल किसी का भी लेगा नहीं. If I get 1 crore, I will not take. My company knows it, my people know, my family know, I will be asleep. And even if a thief comes and steals everything from my house also, I will not do, because I will be in deep sleep. ठीक है. तो 9 o'clock को they have to stop everything, and 10 o'clock they have to hit the bed, and 5 days. That is one thing they have to do for 20 days. Just do that one thing. Once you master that, once that is into your system and groove, then start having simple homemade food and just walk, step out. The first step to exercise is just wearing your shoes and stepping out the door. Once you step out the door, आप चल जाएगा. आप 30 minutes चलेगा, 40. आप simple habit, don't get enamored. अरे यार वो तो मैराथन भाग रहा है, मुझे भी भागना, तो आप इंजर हो सकता है. अब वो मत करो. आप धीरे धीरे आपका body then start accepting that change. लिवर एंड किडनी ऑल विल स्टार्ट टॉकिंग टू ईच अदर. अरे यार ये तो अच्छा हो रहा हमारे साथ, अभी तो बीटरूट खाने को मिल रहा. सो एवरी पार्ट ऑफ योर बॉडी इज एन इंजीनियरिंग मार्वल, जस्ट लाइक अ BMW इंजन, राइट. तो क्या करते हैं, हम गाड़ी खरीदते हैं, लेकिन BMW गाड़ी खरीदते हैं तो हम सॉफ्टवेयर लगाएंगे, क्योंकि यार धूल मिट्टी होना नहीं चाहिए, सर्विसिंग करेंगे, अलाइनमेंट करेंगे, बैलेंसिंग करेंगे. अरे अपना बॉडी तो उससे भी महंगा है. अब बॉडी तो एक ही है, गाड़ी खराब होगा दूसरा खरीदेगा. तो अपना बॉडी का ख्याल रखो भाई. सो रेस्पेक्ट योर बॉडी. स्टार्ट रेस्पेक्टिंग योर सेल्फ केयर. अपना बॉडी को इज्जत दो, सम्मान दो, जो उसको जो डिजर्व करते हैं. धीरे धीरे आपको परिणाम मिलेगा.
So no shortcuts. It is going to take time.
Yes,
it is going to be a change. It is going to require you to stick with it.
Yes.
Right. One of the things that I have done. So we have some online fitness courses also, where the idea is simple. Just get fit. Right. We are helping you. आपको YouTube videos किधर भी मिल जाएगा. But what we are saying is, आप वीडियो कोई भी चूज करो या फिर हमारे यूज करो. What we help you with is consistency. 3 workouts a week. Simple home workouts. And then we do weekly challenges. इस हफ्ते no tea, coffee, alcohol. अगले हफ्ते sleep 9 to 4, 9 to 5. The third week no outside food. Right, so it keeps it exciting also.
Yes.
And then so essentially that works with some people. In some people it doesn't work, right? But you really need that clarity to be able to do this. You touched upon a very important topic, which is sickness. I have been on the same side as you, where it's very rare that I have fallen sick for a very long time, right? And when I have fallen sick was the time when I wasn't, following my fitness routine, to be honest. So is there a correlation between fitness routines and good health, no sickness? And if so, what has been your experience?
Yeah, there is, of course. See, especially with the youngsters. I mean, today the heart attack is now age agnostic. Earlier times, people used to be 60, 70 days to heart attack. Now it is age agnostic. All sort of problems are age agnostic. So ये ऐसा नहीं कि आपको कुदरत आपको ख्याल रखेगा 30 साल तक और बाद में ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है अभी. People who are young people, they are going for what my submission is like this. First of all, do body checkup, full body checkup every 6 months, mandatory for every age. Doesn't matter whether you're 25 or 30 or 35, आप ब्लड अपना हर पैरामीटर को चेक कराइए every 6 months. इस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है बिकॉज इट्स वेरी डायनामिक. यू विल आप 6 months में आपको लगेगा बहुत बढ़िया, लेकिन सडनली कुछ हो सकता है. तो आप उसको मिटिगेट तब कर सकते हैं जब आपको मालूम है कि क्या है. मोस्ट पीपल डोंट गो फॉर चेकअप बिकॉज दे फियर, अरे कुछ तो निकल के आएगा तो फिर परेशान हो जाएगा मैं, राइट. बस वैसे भी परेशान हो जाएंगे, अब ज़्यादा परेशान. सो ओनली टाइम यू कैन सॉल्व इट इज व्हेन at that point of time. Otherwise, it becomes bigger and magnified. So one is that do checkups on regular basis. To all the people who are listening to this podcast, my humble submission is that life is beautiful, and you will be in a much better position to enjoy the beauty of what life offers to you if you are in control of your health. So binge watching, ये late night movies देखना, Netflix देखना, ये सब आप avoid कर सकते हो तो बहुत बढ़िया है. And make a calendar saying allot 45 minutes to 1 hour of your time on social media, not more than that. It's important to calendarize things so you know that यार मेरा 1 घंटा हो गया social media में, that's it. I'm not saying don't watch Netflix or don't watch. लोग बोलते हैं यार सब कुछ बंद करेगा तो फिर क्या बाबा रामदेव बनना है. People ask me this question. I say that नहीं, आप बंद मत करो, आप उसको कम करो, moderate करो, follow, मतलब you decide, allocate time. So most important thing, you have to be cognizant of and understand exactly what you're doing, the choices. So our choices should reflect our hope and not our fear. So there is a huge correlation between sickness, between health, between fitness. I believe that once you follow a healthy lifestyle, your life will change. Trust me, I'm telling you, your life will change. You will be energetic, you will be cheerful, you will be happy, you will radiate happiness across people. Life will suddenly seem beautiful, and you will have that extra muscle in your body saying that चलो कुछ करके दिखाते हैं. तो बहुत ज़रूरी है हर व्यक्ति को small things like if you are on the 4th floor, just make an extra effort to climb up the stairs. If you are going to a neighborhood shop, avoid your scooter, walk करके जाओ. तो ये simple प्रोसेस. अभी जो एयरपोर्ट में आप देख सकते हो ये एस्केलेटर बना होता है और सीढ़ी है. 99% लोग एस्केलेटर, बस कुछ करना ही नहीं. एस्केलेटर तो आपको लेके जाएगा ना नीचे में, आपको तो कुछ करना ही नहीं है. सो व्हाट हैपन्स देन, क्या होता है आपका बॉडी में ब्लड सर्कुलेशन रहता नहीं है, मसल्स वीक हो जाते हैं, एंड देन वन डे इट गिव्स अवे. सो द ओनली वे यू कैन इज प्रिवेंशन इज बेटर देन क्योर. सो द बेस्ट वे टू अवॉइड एंड मिटिगेट दिस इज दैट बाय स्टार्ट practicing this. And Mughal Emperor Jahangir said that the best time to plant a seed was yesterday. The next best time is now.
Today, absolutely. You know, one of the points that I want to reiterate from what you said is doing a full body checkup every 6 months. A lot of people are actually reluctant to do it for 2 counts, right? One is I don't like what I see or what I'm going to see,
Right.
for whatever reason.
Yes.
And second is money. And my request is, what's the point of the money for everything that you buy if you cannot even spend the money for your body checkup?
Yes.
So from so we also run personal finance courses. And so we say, well, the first thing you should do is take life insurance, health insurance. You should, hopefully you never need to use it, but it's a security,
100%,
right?
100%.
And but before, on top of all of that is actually money that you should allocate for every 6-month health checkups,
100%.
right? Put that money aside and make sure you just get that done, right? So for all those who are listening to this, here's an immediate action item outside of so many other action items that we've discussed so far. I want to talk to you about the future, your future, right? That is around fitness goals. How do you set your fitness goals? I just want to understand the thought process behind it, right? And so over the next 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, Are there any particular fitness goals that you are looking to achieve?
See, ultra running is a very brutal sport. I mean, it is a brutal sport because you are by yourself. It's a very lonely sport. And there is no you can't say कि मैंने सब कुछ कर लिया है because the challenges, the complexity in challenges vary, differ. So for me, like now I'm planning Manali to Rohtang, which is on June 20th. This is a very tough challenge, and this is unlike all other challenges I've done. So ऐसा नहीं कि मैंने बहुत सारा challenge किया तो ये मैं कर सकता हूँ आसानी से, ऐसा नहीं है. उसके लिए आपको prepare करना पड़ता है. Of course, mind is always ready all the time. Mind says that you can do it. So mind, I've conditioned my mind to my advantage, where I know कि मैं कर सकता हूँ. लेकिन but I have to still go and execute the plan. So mentally, I visualize a route. So on my GPS route, I visualize. So mentally, I already run the race before the race day.
Right.
And on that particular race day, I'm just physically running it. So mentally, मैं already खत्म कर चुका है race. So मैं वो visualization में believe करता हूँ. Like Michael Phelps, the celebrated Olympian, the swimmer, he speaks a lot about this technique. That's important. Second thing, I'm planning the border race, which is going to happen in December. It's a very tough race, 100 kilometer, and this is in scorching heat and extreme cold, contrasting temperature. That is in December. So I give a gap of good 6 months between two big ones. And I already did Chandigarh 12-hour stadium run in Feb. I did 92 kilometers in 12 hours. So it was a good performance. But I prepared for that. So to run 92 kilometers in 12 hours, I ran 900 kilometers in 2 months of preparations. I was hitting 450 kilometer mileage every month. Right. So like that's like 120 kilometers every week.
Yeah.
So after that, I am planning for Comrades. Comrades is the ultimate human race in the world. It's 89 kilometers. It happens in South Africa. This I already qualified for it, but there is corals in that. So if your timing is X, so you will be placed in a coral where you can finish faster. So if you're coral A, you are right in front. If you're coral D, you're behind.
Right.
So then if you're coral D guy gets 10 minutes lesser to finish. And Comrades is got cut-off time. So it is rolling hills. It's up, down, and it is 89 kilometers. You have to finish in 12 hours. So that's a really, really tough race. So I got this one coming up, Manali to Rohtang. I got border coming up in December, and I got Comrades coming up in June next year. So these are the three sort of challenges.
Big ones. Amazing. Thanks. I had another podcast guest with me earlier. The podcast we've already published with Lavanya, where she became an ultramarathoner the first time after she had delivered twins and came back and ran, I think, 100 kilometer down south somewhere. And she walked us through the whole experience, right? She had just done it for the first time. So those who have not seen it, she's kind of taken a full walkthrough of what it takes to become an ultramarathoner, right? What is an ultramarathon and what is an ultramarathoner? The last part of this podcast I want to talk to you is about injuries. One of the things that I extremely focus on in my fitness is to be injury free. So you create routines and preparation, and I take extra efforts to make sure that I'm aware that I'm not injuring myself, right? And so there are certain protocols that I put in. For the simplest one is, warm up and cool down.
Right.
Any ways by which you either had injuries and you had to recover, or ways by which you prevent being injured?
Yeah. So what happens when you are starting your fitness journey? This very simple. Let's keep simplified. Just walk is enough. Don't try too many things. आप एक दिन में 100 पुशअप करेगा तो आपका मसल दूसरा दिन में नहीं बनेगा. ये सिंपल. So आप simple, just follow a simple process. But when you hit threshold, when your body has accepted the new you, then that's the time when you have to go for structured training. Okay, running is not about movement of the legs. Running is also about the movement of the hands. Have you ever heard a runner saying that मेरा हाथ में injury हो गया? But running is all about using your entire body. It's about engaging the core. It's a very scientific thing. So strength training is extremely important for runners. So if you don't do strength training, your core is not strong, and a weak core means you will hit the wall. If you're doing a full marathon of 42 kilometers, at 34 you will hit the wall because you don't have a strong core. So it's very important to have 2 or 3 days of strength training, not only for runners, for every single person. You should be able to do 25 push-ups in 1 minute. You should be able to do a 1 minute plank. You should be able to climb 10 floors in 10 minutes. You should be able to do 10 kilometers in 1 hour and 20 minutes. If you can't do this thing, you are simply not fit. सिंपल है. तो ये सबको करना चाहिए रीजनेबल टाइम पे. सो इंजरीज प्रिवेंट करने के एक ही तरीका है. वन इज दैट डोंट ट्राई टू पुश द एनवेलप till the body is getting used to it. Once your body get used to it, do a lot of strength training, and recovery is very important. So if you are doing like back to back runs, like today you are doing 21, next day 21, you are bound to get injured. So don't do like, just space yourself, give ample time to recover. So recovery may you should do foam rolling, you should have good nutritious food, you should have good sleep, because what the pounding which the body takes is not, it cannot be seen externally. Internally the tissues and the muscles take a lot of pounding. It needs time to recover. So because I've already have the base mileage, I can afford to do it. मतलब I'm just telling for the people as in आप करते हो, हाँ मैं करता हूँ because मेरा body में base entrance हो गया है, and I know how much I can push my body. ऐसा नहीं कि मैं उसको, मेरे को मालूम है मेरे body को, because I've got that understanding and the prudence and the wisdom over long period of time. Also one more thing, I was damn fortunate I didn't get injured. I ran in overweight. वो बिल्कुल नहीं करना चाहिए, because the entire pressure comes on the knees. So people ask me, मैं रन करने से घुटना खराब होता है. रन करने से घुटना खराब नहीं होता है, बट इफ यू डोंट डू स्ट्रेंथ ट्रेनिंग, इफ यू रनिंग ऑन ओवरवेट, इफ यू हैविंग बैड फूड, शुगरी फूड, फिर आपको प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है. फॉर ऑल द पीपल ओवरवेट, डोंट थिंक अबाउट रनिंग. आप खाली ब्रिस्क वॉक करो, आप स्ट्रेंथ ट्रेनिंग करो. लोग कहते हैं यार मैंने 50 किलो उठाया. भाई क्यों? कितना किलो उठाया इम्पोर्टेंट, फॉर्म इज इम्पोर्टेंट. Okay, how well you are doing, the reps are important.
Yeah.
The process is important. So build mileage gradually. धीरे 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 आप mileage बढ़ाओ तो आप इंजरी नहीं होगा. Otherwise, lot of people I know are getting injured, and then it puts them out of action for at least 6 months to 1 year.
Correct.
And people don't understand the difference between soreness and pain. There's a big difference between soreness and pain. So if you are having pain, you have to consult a sports doctor. Don't keep it lingering. फिर वो बढ़ सकता है. It can be problem for you.
Sure. Thanks a lot for touching, because touching on the topic of knees, because a lot of people say, well, you shouldn't run because knees में problem आएगा. But you've been running forever.
40,000 kilometers I have run.
Correct. Right. I want to get a little bit technical. This question is around the equipment, the shoes, being ready for an ultra marathon, a half marathon, a 10 kilometer, whatever it might be. Anything that you would recommend for two kinds of people? For those who might be doing their first 10K, first 21K, what shoes, what other things that they should wear, carry? And second, for those who might be doing ultra marathons, what kind of equipment would you suggest? Because there's a lot of data around online, but किसको trust करें?
Yeah.
Right. So would love
when
to
I started running, I used to run in ये 350 350 rupees pant, 200 का jersey and 1000 रुपए का जूता. And I had a basic analog watch. Time बताता खाली. No other data in there. I ran like that for 4-5 years. So when you're starting off, you don't need to get into all this branded clothes and branded shoes and sports watch and all. Not required. No Garmin, go up. Just run by feel. Just run by feel. Just enjoy the nature. Just listen to the voices in your heart. Just listen to your breathing. Just go by feel. But when you want to transition into serious running, we are all amateur runners, by the way. None of us are professional runners. हमको कोई gold medal जीतेंगे नहीं, हम कोई Olympics में नहीं भाग रहे. We are running for the love of running, for the joy of running. And running is a close-knit community. The amount of bonding which happens between runners is like spellbound, if I tell you. Just enjoy it. But if you want to transition into serious running, and if you want to become like you're running a marathon, okay, then of course you have to be careful about your shoes, because it improves performance by certain base points. So there are a lot of shoes available. Adidas hai, Puma hai, Nike hai. So you have to decide the budget and what you're looking from the shoe, what type of run you're looking from the shoe. For example, if you're doing long run, there's a particular shoe. If you're doing tempo, there's a particular shoe. If you're doing speed run, particular shoe. But middle class लोगों के पास इतना पैसा रहता नहीं कि तीन टाइप का शू खरीदूं. So one is that go for training shoe, which is everyday run shoe, which is good for your competitive run also when you're running the competition. So depending upon your feet, how your feet is, you can do a gait analysis to understand your feet. Some people run on heel, some people run on mid foot. So आपको अपना foot का landing position देखना है. उस हिसाब से आपको shoe, never buy a shoe online. That is the first advice. Go to a store, wear the shoe, see how comfortable it is fitting, and always there should be like a half-inch gap between your fitting so that your ankle is nicely snuggled into position. Then look for heel drop, look for comfort. It depends upon races. Now, if you're doing a trail on a mountain, you have to have trail shoes. You can't wear your road running shoes and go on a trail because you will slip. Loose sand, loose gravel, and you will slip. So for the trail is a different type of shoe. For ultra running marathon is a different type of shoe. But for speed running, like people who are running 10K, you have lot of shoes which is carbon plated now. But they're very expensive. That is not available in India also. You have to import that from US. It costs around 22,000, 25,000. Also, if you're a serious runner, if you're looking for reasonable shoes are available between 9 to 10, please एक अच्छा shoe में invest करिए. Important है. Sports watch also, like this Garmin sports watch is there for runners. That is if you're too much into technical data, you want to know your heart rate, you want to know your cadence, you want to know your stride length, what is your performance last month vis-a-vis this month. So you can synchronize your Garmin watch into Strava. Strava gives you all scientific data over everything. It breaks up everything and gives it to you. But that only when you're transitioning into serious. But there are different levels. For beginners, just run by feel, nothing else. Forget everything else. For serious runners, yes, you have to play some import.
So, if you are a beginner, first achieve consistency. Before you buy all the goodies and the expensive shoes and the gadgets and all. पहले भाग के दिखाओ.
Sure.
Run about 1,000 kilometers maybe, and then start investing your money in it. Shajan, this has been such an awesome podcast. You have been so authentic and so transparent, and it is such heartwarming to listen to you, to share your own story, where you are, and in an unfiltered manner, just provide the right kind of advice. Now, always remember, right, we are saying this from one point of view, and so you should take it like that. You are the judge of your own body, right? I say this for the others also. You are in judge of your own money. So even if a financial advisor tells you or a Twitter person gives you a tip, it is your hard-earned money, so you should be in control. This is your body. You should be in control with your fitness as well. If you haven't started following Shajan on Twitter, I highly recommend you to do so. I learned so much. He is in the same way on Twitter where he's sharing in a very blunt but authentic manner what are the things that worked for him, what is he doing now. And so if you're not following him, follow him right away. You'll learn a lot. And follow us, follow DASAR, subscribe to DASAR YouTube channel. Go to dasar.in if you are interested in transcripts to read, or you are interested in articles on fitness, on personal finance, on productivity. You'll find them on our website as well. And if you want us, if you have any questions around fitness, you think we should bring someone else that you believe you can learn from on the DASAR podcast, just send me an email at dd@dasar.in. Shajan, thank you. A lot of gratitude to you.
Yes.
All the best for your fitness goals, and hopefully we can continue this dialogue.
Sure. Thanks a lot. Thank you. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.